So, there's more than just Scotland playing. I will also preview the Scotland-France game, slightly more as a game instead of just the Scotland side of it. But basically, all the Six Nations teams are playing, and all the Rugby and Championship teams are playing. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to cover the Rugby Championship teams. I'll just focus on the 3 Six Nation team games, just cause time. I don't know if I can find a way to watch the Rugby Championship games in a time scale that would also allow me to put out a pretty soon review, because you'd want it out within a day basically of the game, and I can't guarantee I'll be able to watch the games in that time. I won't be able to watch them live because A, I don't think they're on in Scotland, and B, if they are, they're on at like 3:30 in the morning or like 11:30 at night, and I can't be bothered. So yeah, I mean the 11:30 one I would do, but not the 3:30. Not if I'm doing both on the same day. So anyway, this game is going to be the England-Wales. I will also preview the Ireland-Italy, and then I'll do another video on Scotland-France, more looking at the game. I do have a Welsh flag behind me on the chair. Nothing to actually do with the game, more to do with the fact that it's a flag that had related to the game. I'm neutral in this game, I don't really care who wins. But yeah, let's look at the teams, what we think. Now, I'm out of breath because I just had to go and sort something on my car. But yeah. This game is an unknown. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to expect from either team. Both teams are going through a lot of change. Both teams are also in a bit of a slump, or were during the Six Nations. Neither performed particularly well to their standards. And also both teams are weaker than you'd expect from England and Wales. Actually, it's first team. So we'll look at the teams. I'll start off with Wales just because of the home team. So 1, you've got Corey Domachowski. 2, Ryan Elas. 3, Kieron Asrati. 4, David Jenkins. 5, Will Rowlands. 6, Chris Tunza. 7 captains, Jack Morgan. 8, Aaron Wainwright. 9's Gareth Davis. 10's Sam Coltslaw. 11's Rio Dyer. 12's Max Lewine. 13's George North. 14's Lewis Rees-Zammit. 15's Lee Halfpenny. And then on the bench, 16's Elliot Dee. 17's Nicky Smith. 18's Henry Thomas. 19's Ben Carter. 20's Tane Plumtree. 21's Thomas Williams. 22's Dan Biggar. And 23's Mason Greedy. So the backs seems to be fairly solid, just looking there, you'd probably comfortably put at least 4 or 5 of them in the starting team, wouldn't you? It's the pack that, especially the front row, that looks really light. Now I can't see cap numbers here, but I don't really recognise the names, and I know the Six Nations teams well enough, just about, that I can tell that they are not normal starters for Wales. So it's again a mix, which is good. And the thing is with Wales is that they've had that many changes around the squad, that many players retiring, being left out, whatever, that might be the strongest team. But yeah, the pack, especially the front row, second row to an extent as well, is a bit weaker than you'd expect. I mean, David Jenkins and Will Rowlands are good, but I think there's a couple that would probably go in over them. I'm thinking of the likes of Beard. I know Alan Wynne-Jones is retired, but there is more to go in. Bench, again, there's some younger players, some older players, got like Dan Biggar, Thomas Williams, Elliot Dee on there, but then you've also got some younger players who I don't recognise, like Mason Grady, Tane Plumtree, so a mix there. So Wales, yeah, kind of middle, some a mix, experienced, not experienced, which you'd kind of expect from the first game before the World Cup. But let's have a look at England now. So forwards, at 1 you've got Ellis Genge, who's captain. 2 Jamie Blamer. 3 Will Stewart. 4 David Rivens. 5 George Martin. 6 Lewis Ludlam. 7 Tom Pearson. 8 Alex Dombrandt. Then in the backs you've got 9 Danny Kerr. 10 Marcus Smith. 11 Joe Coxinyanka. 12 Guy Porter. 13 Joe Marchant. 14 Max Malins. And 15 Freddie Stewart. Then on the bench you've got 16 Theo Dan. 17 Bevan Rodd. 18 Kyle Sinclair. 19 Johnny Hill. 20 Tom Willis. 21 Jack Van Poorfleet. 22 George Ford. 23 Henry Slade. So it's very similar to Wales, where you've got a mix of young and old. You know, you've got, even in the pack again, just looking, you've got Ellis Genge, experience. Jamie Blamer, not really heard of him. Will Stewart, experience. David Rivens, I've heard of him. I think he's more kind of on and off. You know, there's no one like a Toji or anything like that. Same with George Martin, not really heard of him. Lewis Ludlam, Tom Pearson, neither of the Currys are in at 7. Dombrandt, obviously. And in the backs, Kerr, Smith, heard of them. No one Farrell or anything. Nyanga, I'm probably going to butcher that every single time I say it. I've heard of him at club level, kind of. I think this will be one of his first internationals. Guy Porter, Joe Marchant, heard of the pair of them. Max Malins, obviously, and Freddie Stewart. So again, a mix of youth and experience there. Then same on the bench, Kyle Sinclair, Johnny Hill, George Ford, Henry Slade, all experienced. Then you've got the likes of Van Poorfleet, who has played just only a handful. Theo Dan, Bevan Rodd, and Tom Willis, who I think have featured a couple of times as well. So both teams are mixed, and this is why I think it's hard to tell, because you don't know who's coming, you don't know who's on form. I would comfortably put both not on form if they were facing, you know, a South Africa, New Zealand, Ireland, France, even a Scotland, and possibly an Argentina as well at the minute. I wouldn't put these two teams above them. But compared to each other, it's going to be interesting. I am thinking about it. I'm slightly favoured more towards England to win. But it wouldn't surprise me if Wales can do something. But it'll also be interesting to see what we get from both teams. Another thing to note is that it probably will be quite a scrappy game. This is the first time a lot of players have played together, so it'll be like Scotland and Italy were last week, where there was lots of knock-ons, lots of silly penalties and stuff. So I'm expecting that more from both teams again, a kind of a grind, maybe not the best to watch, but, you know, infuriating if you're supporting one of the teams. But that's what I can see it going, and I think England will just edge it. But thing is with these two teams is you can never tell. Sometimes they can go and win the World Cup, sometimes they can be beaten by Georgia. So, yeah. Not that being beaten by Georgia is a particularly embarrassing thing, because they are a good team, but, you know, for a team that's as high up as these two, they shouldn't be. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on the game. I think it'll go down similar to Scotland-Italy, a bit error-ridden and a bit and slow. But I'd be happy to be wrong. I do also think England's going to edge it. Let me know if you agree, disagree, whatever. If you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.